Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix, and this is something you have been waiting for, something you've been asking about. This is the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, and there are 8 trim levels this year, 4 different engine options, and a lot of improvements. I want to show you all this, but I'm going to bring in an expert. Before we do, I want to list some of the highlights you need to know that are improved for 2024. And there's a lot, so you want to stay with us to the end, because this expert's going to give us information you're not going to get anywhere else. One of the new things for 2024 is the iForce Max engine. We'll show you that along the way. In addition, the extra cab long bed, that's going to be available as well. Things you've been asking for, Toyota heard you, and they're bringing a really cool truck that you're going to be impressed with. The Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 is now standard on the full lineup, and that's good for you. This vehicle's even safer on the road. So to get started, I'd like to bring in Sheldon Brown. He is the chief engineer for the Tacoma. And this is a very special interview because you're going to get it right from the guy who is behind this vehicle and how cool it is. Hi, Sheldon. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, this is exciting. There's a lot of changes here for 2024. So what I'd like you to do is give us a tour of this vehicle because people have a lot of questions. And we have huge taco fans out there. So we want to make sure that they know what they're getting so they know what to order.
Excellent. Well, thanks for giving me the opportunity because this is really exciting. It's been a long time coming, but this truck has been completely re-engineered from the ground up. I mean everything, from the suspension to the frame to the powertrain to the entire cabin. So we got a lot to talk about today. Let's get through it, and we'll start right here with the Limited, and I think you talked about it earlier, our iForce Max powertrain. This is our limited grade package, and this features our all new iForce Max powertrain that you spoke of earlier. 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. This grade is going to be our Limited, as we mentioned. What you'll recognize with this is our most premium truck. Now, compared to the past generation, we've done a lot to make sure Limited separates itself from the rest of the pack. That includes, with this powertrain, full-time four-wheel drive. That means you have it all the time you want. You can, of course, lock the center differential for 4 high and, of course, 4 low. In addition to that, we offer power running boards. This will help you get in and out of the truck, a nice little amenity to make sure that your commute and your daily drive is a little bit easier for you. In addition to that, this is completely complemented with a full NVH package, including acoustic glass and a number of other NV remediation items to make sure that the cabin is whisper quiet. We use our multi-material concept. Not only are we using the SMC or the resin deck bed, but we've changed the deck side outer to aluminum. Also, our brand new power rear tailgate, aluminum. We have buttons right here in the lamp on both sides. Allows for no hands, or when your hands are full, you can simply press the button, opens the tailgate. If you reach in here, let's pretend you're gonna grab something out and your hands are full, you can just hit it with your knee, walk away, it closes and locks right there for you. We of course have our rear step, which allows easier access, and then we have power options for you, a 2400 watt inverter that's available right back here in the deck. You can see here, as well as convenient storage inside the deck. We have lighting both at the top so that we have good access and view of the cargo, as well as side lamps in the event that you're running a tonneau cover. These project the light fore and aft so that when it's dark in here, we can see what's inside the truck. Welcome to the all-new Limited interior featuring our soft text leather seating application. We have both heated and ventilated seats. Important, we talked about that full-time four-wheel drive. So here you see right here, you can easily connect or engage this system. This gives you, as I mentioned, four-wheel drive full-time. If you want to lock that center differential, a simple click of the switch, and then of course you can go into the 4 low with the lock center diff very easily. You'll notice we have a tow haul mode because we're featuring, of course, trailer brake control as well as trailer blind spot monitor, and we have trailer configuration so you can pre-configure your trailer, plus trailer backup assist guides. Important in this truck, of course, is our all-new drive modes. And so this features several different drive modes, 5 different drive mode applications, because this vehicle also has active variable suspension. That means you can loosen up the suspension for our comfort mode and then tighten it up for Sport and Sport Plus. With the new electronic power steering, that allows us to change the steering feel and effort for a more sporty feel or for a more comfortable drive in the comfort mode. As well as we'll change the pedal map, and of course the AVS will be actively changing the suspension dampening force as you drive the vehicle.
Wow, look at this. Holy moly.
That's right.
That is a gigantic screen.
That's exactly right. This is featuring our all-new multimedia system with a 14-inch center display. That's paired together here with a 12.3 fully digital meter. And in addition to the fully digital meter, we also are carrying our all-new heads-up display. So then you can actually see your speed, you can see your lane, your TSS activation and feature, your dynamic radar cruise, all right here, keeping your eyes on the road. Now, these are also paired with a digital display mirror. So we're actually utilizing cameras out of the back of the mirror to be able to see.
That becomes a camera, just like you see in the Grand Highlander and the Highlander.
These two, we have 3 shark fins. So you can see the 2 on the outside. What those 2 are is a optional wireless trailer camera. You can purchase as an accessory a camera that is mounted to your trailer that transmits to here, and what you see in your display mirror is what you see from behind the trailer. This helps out when you have one of those big, like a large boat or a large box trailer, being able to see behind. Of course, we have our 4 and 8 pin, 6,000 pounds of towing, and the ability for us to have a trailer blind spot that will automatically be recognized when you move into trailer mode or when you plug into that 7-pin connector. Here is our all-new rear seat featuring power USB-C, and of course we have the 2400 watt AC plug out. So you have that both in the deck as well as in the rear here. And we all know that important to the compact segment is some level of storage. Headrest fold down. Come back down here, we have our exterior ported subwoofer, but back here, plenty of room for storage. The 40% side folds down as well.
This is something that you really want to see. This is the new Trail Hunter. So we're going to ask Sheldon to come in and give us a walk around of this vehicle because it's really awesome.
Well, now we are with our brand new Halo grade offering. So we have, of course, the TRD Pro. That was our, I'll say the OG of our Halo products. It was meant for our adrenaline-fueled high-speed desert racing. We recognized that that truck was being used for a whole lot of different off-road purposes. And while we wanted to develop something that was really meant for the off-roading community, something that was meant to go long distances, carry a lot of cargo, and to do it well. Introduce the brand new Trail Hunter. You'll see right here with our laser etching here in the headlight. We start here. Our all-new center light bar. Just under 10,000 lumen, super bright, actually better throw, wide angle for those off-road trails that you make sure you're seeing what's on the sides. Our wide angle fog lamps, this is the first that will change from white to yellow. They're switchable. And of course we have all of the armor that we need, including like the front bash plate. We're gonna walk around the side and see the rest of the underpinnings. So the Trail Hunter, of course, is offered exclusively with our iForce Max powertrain. You'll notice a 3-inch wider track width than the base vehicle, large over fenders, big high clearance front valance, allowing you to get that tire on obstacles, making it easier to take this thing off-road. Walking back, an integrated high mount air intake right here on the side that goes to our performance air box. Coming down the side, of course, you'll see our Trail Hunter insignia, optional roof rack, really important factory standard rock sliders. These are mounted directly to the frame. They'll carry 1/2 GVW, get you out of those tight positions. As we walk to the back of the truck, we can see a little bit better. Here we have our old Man Emu suspension. So these are 2.5-inch absorbers. They're using the end zone technology with 3 jounce and 2 rebound stages. This is fundamentally designed to make sure that you have improved damping performance in those off-road scenes, as well as good, comfortable on-road driving. That is paired with a 33-inch Goodyear Wrangler tire, unique 17-inch wheels. Underneath, and it's a little difficult to see here, but we have basically underbody protection. You saw the front skid. We have the rear, the center skid plate, full fuel tank protection, as well as a rear diff protection as well. Part of what was important about this was building this truck for overlanders from the ground up, taking care of all the difficulties in suspension geometry and making sure that the truck is ready to carry load and has all of the features that you'll need to get you out of tough spots. We start here with an ARB steel rear bumper. This is completely developed, bespoke to Tacoma. It has our sonar, our blind spot monitoring, an option for additional or provisions for additional lighting that are all pre-wired. Here we see our ARB recovery points. Those are bolted directly to the frame. And then here we have our unique frame mounted high lift jack access points. Slip a high lift jack right in here, lift you up. If your vehicle's ever high centered, you can use that to help get you off. Of course, we have our 4-pin, 7-pin connector back here. Again, we feature our power tailgate with our SMC deck. Standard on Trail Hunter, we give you a tire compressor, an inflator and compressor mounted directly into the deck. Pre-programmable to multiple different tire pressure sets. So if you're running common trails, you know the tire pressure you want. Set it here, plug it in, set it, forget it. It'll auto air up or auto air down your tires to that desired setting. Again, on the back, you'll also see standard the accessory sport rack. This is convertible to a full deck rack if in fact you choose. And I'll point out over here, now that we can see some lights, we have deck side lighting. This is important at night. You're up in your tent on the rooftop tent. You want to know what you're walking down into. Click the lights. They work with the bed lights. They basically illuminate about 8 feet diameter or 8 feet radius to make sure that you can see what's around you at night. Inside, you'll find a custom interior. Again, our Softex interior. You'll notice our yellow stitching as well as seat piping in here, and a unique applique with our sort of vintage Toyota right there on the dash. Now this has many of the other same features that you saw, but I will point to an important one here. Of course, unlike the Limited, we actually have the multi-terrain select. We also have the downhill ascent and crawl control. This will allow you to then select between these different elements as you need those as a driver. New to the all-new Tacoma, of course, is this brand new front stabby or sway bar disconnect. It allows you to disconnect that front stabilizer bar below 30 kph and allows about 10% more articulation in the front and allows you to realize about 15% more in the rear in those sort of off-camber, off-road environments. This also has a locking rear differential. Very important for the off-road community. We understand how critical that is. We pair it again with our dual zone climate control. We have 45 watt USB charging up here. For those of you who want to run a RAM mount or something for additional accessories, we have a plug just on the upside there of our 14-inch display. And then, yeah, this is our all-new Bluetooth center channel speaker. The great part about this is you want to make sure that you take that great interior experience and take it out with you. Whether you're sitting around the campfire or you're out kayaking in your kayak, this can travel right with you. It's IP7X, which means it goes down to 1 meter, waterproof to 1 meter for up to 30 minutes. You can daisy chain about 100 of these things together, connect it right up to your phone. What's really cool, you put it back in the truck. Of course it charges, but it's also an active center channel. Now the great news is JBL and Toyota, we even thought about what happens if, let's say, you leave this at home. No problem. Our amplifier recognizes it, changes the EQ, and rebalances the sound system. So even without it, you still get great sound performance. On this side, I think it's important that we can see two cool items over here. Well, I'll get you over here. First is we're pre-wired for 3 auxiliary switches. We have power takeoff in the front, down here in the footwell, and then at the end of at the deck. This allows you to accessorize ditch lights or whatever else sort of off-road components you may want. And then we talked a little bit about, of course, our light bar and then the ever-changing, or the ability to change from the white to yellow fog lamp. And it's just with a simple click of a button. I'm going to start this for you and show you. Fog light, white, fog light, yellow. So we have a little jewel right here, and that lets you know what you're running. If you obviously, you'll probably see it here. Also really cool on every grade of Tacoma, manually adjusting LED front low beams. So Simple click. If you're towing or if you're under load and your beams are pointed up, you can adjust those up or down. 5 different
Smart idea.
zones.
Blinds oncoming traffic, and this way it does it. So for all you 3-pedal fans, this is the Tacoma Sport, and yes, there's a manual transmission, which I personally prefer. I also love this new color. Let's bring Sheldon back in, and he's gonna show us a lot of things that you didn't know about.
Like you said, super excited to offer this. This is our TRD Sport, as you mentioned, featuring, of course, our hood scoop, unique to this. We also notice molded in color over fenders with active aero vents here. The truck has its LED signature headlights as well. Our TRD related grille. Of course, here's our wide angle fog lamps as well. Let's move to the fun part of this truck. This is powered, of course, by our iForce powertrain. This is the L4 turbo paired with a 6MT as you suggested. And this will provide 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. If we walk over to the side here, of course, it's got that iconic Toyota silhouette. The truck has got the high lift with a wrapped rocker, making it look very athletic. Important to these customers was garageability, right? So we've been looking at some of the long deck versions over here on Trailhunter. Bumper to bumper, exactly the same size as the outgoing Tacoma. However, of course, holding the front wheel the same, we've basically extended the wheelbase on all of these basic double cab short deck configurations, about 4.5 inches, shortened up the overhang by about 24 millimeters, so about an inch. And of course, we've tucked everything up nice and high so we can maintain that critical breakover angle, even though we've extended the wheelbase. But the cool part of this truck, you mentioned it before, all 3 pedals. So here's where we are. And here we have our 6-speed manual transmission. What you'll notice down here, of course, in our drive mode select, we still have our 3 modes. We have our sport mode, normal mode, and our eco mode. And we have our IMT2 button. What is IMT2? Glad you asked. What this does is maybe on those days where you don't necessarily want to row through the gears yourself, this provides you with auto rev matching and anti-stall feature. So it helps out in those areas when maybe you're not wanting to run super sporty that day, long day at the office, maybe you're talking on the phone or something and you really just want to kind of have a relaxing day in traffic. This is a great little function, takes a little bit of the load off. What else is new? We decided that we wanted to change the drive experience a little bit. So if you are an active or an avid manual transmission fan for the previous generation Tacoma, there'll be 2 things that you'll notice. We reduced the clutch effort. When we reduced the clutch effort, we were able to remove the hydraulic accumulator. Now, for me personally, I drove a bunch of manual Tacomas, and what I didn't like was the manual accumulator kind of gave me a distance and it separated me. I didn't have the direct contact or feel of when the clutch was engaging as well as we do without. So in this case, we removed that. Better direct response and control, better controllability, especially off-road. I noticed you were pointing to something here as well. This is, of course, our standard, or the interior that you've seen before, 14-inch display. This is featuring our new anodized blue interior. So this, of course, is paired with our TRD seating. These are fabric seats in this particular case. We have this cool new grab handle right here, especially for your passenger when you're bouncing around off-road. And we have this unique hook, up to 3 kilograms you can hold here, or we can use it to reroute some of the power wires that are up and around to keep those out of your way, especially when you're shifting gears. Now let me show you another real cool trick right down here, especially off-road. You're bouncing around, you don't want your phone flopping. You have your wireless charger and you have this little piece right here that holds it very nicely. We can show you right here. You stick it right down, right in there, and it stops it from falling forward. Kind of holds it back in place. That way when you're bouncing around off-road, you're always getting a good charge. So additional storage. So we know that in the compact truck segment, storage is king. So of course we've got our cup holders back here. This vehicle is available, you'll see here, with our 120 volt, 400 watt inverter. But again, your 2 USB-C type chargers back here as well. Under the seat, simple lift, lots and lots of storage. 3 times the volume of the outgoing Tacoma.
Wow. And same thing is true on this side. There's more storage.
You got it.
Nice.
So totally 3 times the volume. And again, same thing. We can fold the seats back down here. Boom, there you have it. Loads and loads of storage. Again, this is with our JBL exterior ported subwoofer. If you don't have that option, this is available for storage as well. And this one has our power slide glass with rear defrost. All right, well, here we are. This is our new isodynamic performance seat, exclusive and available exclusively, I should say, on the Toyota TRD Pro for both the driver and the passenger. So it begins in the front here. You'll see that we've increased the bolster on the sides as well as in the cushion.
This is huge. This is like a real race seat.
That's right. It keeps you in the seat, make sure that you're well connected. All the same functionality that you get on our premium seat. Ventilation, heating, you get power, fore, aft, and up. The only difference is we move to a manual recline on this particular seat. What makes this seat so special? What we wanted to do was develop a seat that was really built for the off-roader, giving better comfort, and paramount to successful off-roading, right, is maintaining stability of the upper torso and the head. So think about maybe a downhill skier, or like even in the wild, a cheetah chasing its prey, right? You see the eyes are fixed, they're straight, the body moves and articulates, but you want to keep the head straight for focus. That is the key concept here. It starts up front with a universal ball joint here. Let's walk around to the back because that's where the magic really happens. So in addition to that, we have another ball joint access point that's spring loaded. This allows the seat to articulate back and forth, and it allows a little bit of compression in this direction as well, in the rearward direction. These were all mounted to the superstructure, which is a hot formed, basically air-blown tube that's then quenched, that gives us all of our strength. To recover that mass behind here, we have a glass reinforced resin seat back as well as seat pan, and that helps us reduce overall vehicle mass.
And it looks cool. That's what, it looks awesome. From just an appearance, it's one of those things you go, I want those seats.
We have the carbon fiber and everything, and this is where form meets function. This is what's really neat. We have air over oil, and I'll explain that a little bit. This is really similar to maybe something you might have seen on a mountain bike suspension, for example. Simple air Schrader valve. We've got a pressure gauge. Use a simple hand pump. You can pump this up to a different pressure depending on your weight and how you want the seat to perform. So obviously we have people of all different shapes and sizes, and we want to make sure that it's customizable to what suits them best. What this does, we have two basically dampers here that damp the seat as it moves side to side, two that are down here that damp the seat as it moves up and down. And so we have vertical and lateral dampening systems here as well. So you can set the pressure independently for both. Now what's nice about this is as you're moving up and down and you're starting to go off-road and you get these big inputs, maybe you've been in the truck and your head starts to rock and you smack the glass, especially as the passenger, we're gonna soften and take some of that out. We have been able to reduce the overall input to the occupant by about 7%. And that means less driver, less passenger fatigue on those long days off-road.
That's fabulous. I mean, this is what I think the off-road needs.
It is something I think that is, at least as far as we can tell, first in class that we've seen.
I've never seen this before in a factory truck, no.
Nope, and this comes standard right with the TRD Pro. Now here's the thing, let's just say you decide, you know what, I'm driving on road today and I don't really need it. Simple turn of the switch, either the vertical or the horizontal or both, you lock it out and it operates just like a regular seat.
Although there are 8 different trim levels, this is the one you want to see. This is the TRD Pro. Those cool seats we just showed you, they're in here. Wait till you see this. We're going to bring Sheldon back and he's going to give you some of the highlights of this vehicle because it's pretty awesome.
Here we are, the OG of Toyota Halo trucks, the TRD Pro. It's our premium, go fast, adrenaline fueled, fun machine. And it starts off with some of the common features, of course. We have our black hood scoop here, our vintage TOYOTA grill, featuring, of course, all of our safety features, our wide angle rigid fog lamps, and of course a bash plate to make sure if you do go fast and you hit something, nothing on the underside gets damaged. Much like the Trail Hunter, we have our high approach front bumper and our large over fender. This allows you to make sure those wheels get on the obstacle before any of the rest of the truck does. TRD Pro badging here on the side. This is our iForce Max powertrain. We talked about 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque.
Now we're talking.
That's exactly right. We got our Goodyear Wranglers, the RTs right here. These are also on a unique TRD forged wheel. We have our aluminum forged and machined upper control arms, our Fox QS3 suspension. So these are 2.5-inch internal bypass absorbers, and those are paired with the QS3 system, which allows you to adjust 3 different stages for controlled, or where we can actually change or modify or adjust the dampening force. This makes for an incredible ride off-road, but also super well behaved on road. Fox QSS3 back here as well, or QS3, excuse me, back here as well. But unique to this also, we have this FTS, this floating internal, basically hydro jounce stopper right here. This helps basically during those high compression, those high jounce sort of events, reduce the load. So that is unique to the TRD Pro. And again, in those sort of high impact or high input events, really smooths this truck out. Just taking a look overall, the execution again, this comes in our double cab with the 5-foot deck. You'll see the two-tone painted roof with the fastback spoiler. Of course, we pick up the gloss on the over fenders back here again. Steel rear bar. Of course, that's important even for desert racing. We still have all the things that we'll need to get you out of a tricky spot. We talked about these a little bit in the Trail Hunter, but you'll also see them here. The ARB recovery points, the high lift jack points, and of course, we want to make sure that you have all the amenities that you need with our power rear lift gate. Back of the deck, real similar, 2400 watt AC plug back here. Again, we have optional for the tire compressor, but we also have our 12 volt. Our 12 volt, we can get 2 USB-C as well as 12 volt DC power back here. Of course, this truck comes standards with our TRD performance air intake. So that's a performance air intake up front in the engine. It's also got our performance exhaust that bolts on from the Cadillac converter back with, of course, our twin tailpipe and our black anodized looking rear tailpipe. So we want to make sure when we look at this truck, it's meant to look fast when it's standing still. And you'll see that throughout the entire styling cues. The big bold fenders, the big high approach both in the rear, we see it in the front, and of course that fast back look with the tailgate spoiler as well as the cabin spoiler.
Let's fire this thing up and hear the exhaust. Well, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Sounds great. Let's take a look at the inside. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. Love the red logos. Underneath the logo, you can see the Toyota logo. The red underneath it, that is really nice.
This is all about flashy and fast. This is our,
my kind of truck.
Our adrenaline fueled adventure machine. So you see the carbon fiber we picked up. We talked about the isodynamic performance seat. Nice. We pick up a lot of other cool TRD sort of accents with our shifter here with our red leather accent. We've got our TRD right here on our steering wheel. And of course our TRD push start. Nice. These are some things that just sort of tie in the entire interior.
You gotta do it.
You got it. Of course on the door, you know, we're soft. We got our cool red stitching, our red accent panels, and of course our TRD Pro emblem across the way. Nice. All of these trucks feature our sort of molly panel for usable functional sort of storage. You can hang things, you can put stuff in here, whatever you need to do. The rest of the interior also fully appointed. Again, we've got our Bluetooth center channel, we got the JBL tweeters as well as in-dash speakers, our heads-up display, 12.3-inch meter. We've got our 14-inch multimedia display, and then the same kind of concept here, where we're gonna make sure that, of course, you have your multimedia is here, your HVAC is here, all of your powertrain and drive control is here, and then you move over to the side for the rest of the vehicle control. And you can see, again, front detaching sway bar, rear locking diff. We've got, of course, crawl control, multi-terrain select. All the trailering is still here, including the trailer brake controller. And again, everything is controlled right here from this drivetrain controller.
Nice, nice. And then the back seat ties in too. It's red and it looks just like it.
And this one does feature a sunroof, that's right. There you go.
Nice. Sheldon, this is impressive.
Glad you like it.
Well played.
Thank you so much.
And you got a lot of competition.
We do.
You've got Ford, GM. I mean, everybody's fighting for this space, but it's really hard to beat the Tacoma. Well, globally.
Let's be honest. We recognize that there's going to be a lot of competition. Competition, it's great for our customers, and we owe it to our customers to make sure that we take that next great step. They've been waiting for this new Tacoma for a long, long time, and we wanted to make sure that we did not let them down.
I think that's the big thing, is you waited to do it right. I've had more people ask, when are you going to see the 24 Tacoma? And I said, honestly, you got to wait, because if you're waiting, there's a reason you're waiting for something special like this. And some of the other features that are on the other trucks are pretty impressive. So there's 8 trim levels.
There are.
4 engine choices.
That's right.
3 configurations, including the long bed with the extra space.
That's right.
So this is a lot. Plus you've got the new safety, which is standard, at 3.0. You've got the huge screen.
That's right.
I must be missing something.
Well, there is a lot. The only things that we didn't get a chance to see today are our standard iForce. That's our 2.4 liter engine with our 8AT, and that's going to give you 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. We did see the manual version of that, which is just derated slightly.
I like the manual personally.
That's right.
And I love the blue anodized interior. Just details like that are what make people make decisions on vehicles, because they want some. You live in the vehicle.
That's right.
You don't, even though it looks great on the outside, it has to look cool on the inside. And I think you've done a great job. And I've owned Tacomas before. I've got friends that own Tacomas, and they're very loyal. We're here in Kona, Hawaii, and that's all you see on the road.
It's amazing.
It's like they own the island. It's
it
crazy.
It's the #1 best-selling vehicle on the island. And yeah, you mentioned it. Tacoma is all about quality, dependability, reliability. That is the foundation, starting with this brand new F1 platform frame all the way up. We did not abandon that. We wanted to stay tried and true to what our customers come to expect. And I can assure you, we are putting these through all the paces. We are running these the way we know.
It looks like you are.
We are running them the way our customers will. So we hope when you come back with us in a couple of months, you'll get a chance to drive them. And I think you'll enjoy it even more.
I'm looking forward to it, because each trim level has got its own little personality, and I think that's important. A TRD Pro is very different than a Limited. So I also have to say it's 3 years, 36,000 mile warranty, correct?
That's correct.
And that includes roadside service.
It does.
Well, I appreciate everything you've
so
offered.
much.
I mean, you've shown us more stuff than I think we got in all the pre-production information. I wanted to get Sheldon here because he's the man, and he's very passionate, and I think that's really important. So if you have questions, put it in the comments down below. I'll reach out to Sheldon. We'll get you answers. Some things we can't tell you yet because he may not be allowed to tell us yet, but as soon as we can, we'll get you that information. Do we have any price points on this?
Not yet, but later this summer, I think we'll be rolling out pricing, and of course, we're going to roll out the full entire specifications at our national press preview. I believe that will be coming in November, so look forward to that.
Ooh, I think people are going to be excited and want to start looking. There's a lot of videos out there on this vehicle, but we wanted to get the chief engineer so that you would get the most information. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Sheldon. You're the man. He should have his own YouTube channel. You're awesome. Thank you so much for watching. You appreciate your support. If you'd like to support us, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link for that is down below in the description, as well as for the website, the podcast, and the book. We appreciate your time. Follow us on social media at Lauren Fix. Please share this with your friends, because this is a cool vehicle, and we are very lucky enough to have Sheldon join us so that you can share the coolest Tacoma information. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.